This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook, and I have actually one of my friends, heroes, and now business associates, Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer, entrepreneur, mentor, which falls into a lot of what you do business-wise, how you see being an entrepreneur. Thanks for coming on the Playbook. I think there's no better suited athlete that I've had to talk about Playbook to success, because your journey really, I think, parallels that of an entrepreneur. Where you're focusing your life now, you Hall of Fame, you've done everything in football, so this is not a football show. I'm not going to brag about all your awards, even though I'm a football fan. But what most impressed me is how we kind of connected on the business side, is that we're both interested in transitioning not just athletes, but executives and people, and empowering them with not only financial literacy, but with economic opportunity. And that's really the business that you're in. You're educating a whole bunch of famous athletes, not famous athletes, but also just young entrepreneurs and business people. Hey, there's an extraordinary opportunity to build your own business. I'm Marshall Faulk. Let me help you with the character that I have, the discipline that I've learned, but also the business acumen. Build your career. And I haven't met anyone of all the Hall of Famers, all the athletes that have such a clear vision of how to everyone has these great ideas of transitioning athletes, especially agents, but you really put your force in practice. You're building a huge business after 1 year, helping people build their own businesses.
People are people. I don't care what level you're at. We all have the same mental blocks, mental hurdles, and those, let's say those dreams and thoughts and desires of what we want to be. Sometimes you can write it on paper, and you then don't know how to implement it or how to roll it out, as we say in the business. All of that that's always been a thing for me that I've been good at, regardless of what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, the vision I had, the time frame in which I wanted to create it, how to not just create things but implement them. It's always been fascinating for me. But what I'm doing now kind of all came together in a sense over the last, I'm going to say 3 to 4 years, in a sense that understanding business, being a philanthropist, and just having the wherewithal that you got to give back, give back and educate. That's always been something. So how do you fit those three together? And when I was introduced to World Financial Group, Transamerica, and all that they do, it took me about a year of meeting with people and talking about different things within the company, because I value my name and my likeness. And when I do something and I take it to people, they understand that I've done what I needed to do in order to make sure that it's what it is. And when they get involved, that it's something good. So when I started to investigate into World Financial Group and all that it is, when you Google something, you're going to find something good and you're going to find something bad. And I always tell people, if you Google something or someone and you find nothing at all, don't get involved. Don't get involved. I mean, someone's going to have an opinion about it some way or the other. But for me, once I started to understand the platform and all that it does and all that it allows you, it fit with me. It fits me, my brand, what I'm about, and it gives me a platform, in a sense, to not just go out and tell people what to do, but provide a landing place for them to create what they want to create and help people and change lives, empower people, educate people, and do all the things that will allow them to do the most important thing to most people, which is provide for their families, make sure their family is secure, make sure that they're secure, make sure that in life they get to live a good, happy, prosperous life. That's what we all want to do.
It's interesting because as it parallels from being an athlete to a brand as an athlete to a brand as a business, coming from the social media side, I agree with you. There's always going to be people, I had Jordan Belfort on this show, And I wanted people to learn the lessons that the Wolf of Wall Street had learned from the mistakes that he made, right? And all the things. And yet, you'll get people on there going, how dare you put him on there? And when I see companies, you can look up McDonald's, which is a pretty legitimate company.
Very.
And there is, literally thousands of things about McDonald's that people would say negative stuff. Now, I know this about you and about Warren, that you don't jump into things without checking them out. And so when you approached us to work with you, and we had the same brand concerns, doing our due diligence, knowing who you are, made a huge difference. And now really excited about what you're doing because of the empowerment side, the philanthropic side, and the opportunity side to do that. And, I'll use an analogy, and maybe I'll put you on the spot. You got Todd Gurley, Marshall Faulk, and Eric Dickerson, right? 3 great brands within the context. Now, if I asked everybody in this room, and it fills up when someone like you's in my studio, who's the best of the Rams running backs, they're going to all tell me why each one of those isn't and is, but they're going to say negative things about each one of them. The people who are like, oh, Todd Gurley's the greatest because Marshall's too short, or Eric Dickerson's the greatest because, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm going to ask you before I go on to the business issue, who's the best Rams running back of all times?
Me.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone does not say themselves, be weary. Listen, I respect Eric and what he did, and let's idolize the guy. Eric's a great friend of mine.
I know he is. And he's a better golfer than you, though, right?
Todd, not at all. and Todd is
he's just not a Hall of Famer yet.
Just a tremendous player. But his book, his work hasn't been is not completed.
Yeah.
He still has an opportunity to rewrite everything and do everything and change everything. But I see myself in a class, by myself, and it's no slight to anybody else. I just believe that I maximized my opportunity to be successful better than anybody. And if someone else want to make an argument for themselves, then that's what the world is about.
And what did you take, because I agree, what did you take from on the field to do that off the field? Because very few guys can do what you do. It's almost like, even Eric, he likes to play a lot of golf. He's an announcer, but you're a true entrepreneur, and you don't have to be, right? You want to help people.
I enjoy being. I love this. It's it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun building something from scratch. It's fun building people up. It's fun giving people an opportunity. It's just fun. I really enjoy all aspects of businesses. And I'm talking about even the failing parts, the parts that really slam you on the ground, and you're like, you know what, I got to get up and try something else.
Yeah.
You know what, I'm gonna make this work.
You are a get up guy, but you're also
I love that.
You're a visionary too. Like, first time I ever met you years and years ago, Ricky Williams went to Patrick Henry from San Diego. So many San Diego running backs from Marcus. They all have 2 things kind of in common. They're individuals, but they have this vision. You and Barry Sanders, out of all the running backs I've ever met, it's almost like you have a third eye. and something that I'm attracted to as a business person to partner with you, right? Because we're dedicating a lot towards what you're doing, because I believe in your vision. And no one has a better vision on the field. How do you compare, scoring the game-winning touchdown and winning that Super Bowl, or something off the field? A lot of athletes can't, register anything of excitement. I even had the problem with Leigh Steinberg. We used to sign guys who's like, well, I've had Troy Aikman, Warren Moon, and Steve Young. Who cares about Myron Rolle, or someone like that.
Yeah, no, I get you.
But I have a problem like comparing, these great guys, and it's like, hey, I got this business opportunity, and they're like, dude, I've won the Super Bowl. That's not exciting to me. Is there the same excitement, or do you carry that over?
There is the same excitement, and it's and I always tell people, for me, I've accomplished everything that I've ever wanted to do. In a sense, I've accomplished. I've been the best at it. I've been like close to it. I've gotten it done to some degree. It's growing people. Like, my joy now is getting people to places they never thought that they could go. And that's, that's it. I have it in me. If you say, hey, Marshall, do this, I could know nothing about it. I am going to acquire the knowledge and the skills to get it done because I know how to do that. And I have it in me that if it seems impossible, well, I'm going to get as close to it as I can before you know that it's impossible. You know, there's just, you're either wired like that or you're not. I don't even know if that's something that you can learn or you can, that grows on you or whatever. I know it's infectious and certain people believe it at certain times, but I got here because I believed I could. And the dream to get here was something that I had in my head. The vision of being successful, the vision of winning the Super Bowl, the vision of being the best in the league. Like, I had those visions. There's only one vision that I never had that I accomplished, and that was making it into the Hall of Fame. I never saw that for myself.
Wow.
And I say that because as you know, you can think of yourself as the best and great and all of this. Being in that room, being a part of the 1%, yeah. You just don't, those dreams you just don't have. It's just hard to kind of imagine that I sit in a room and I'm a part of a group of guys who are the pillars of the best game ever. Like, you just, that
it's incredible.
You winning a Super Bowl, playing in NFL.
It's like being Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, like scoring a touchdown, all of that stuff. MVP. You could dream that. That's dreamable. But to know that 50, 100 years from now, I am not going to be here, and some kid or my great grandkid is going to be like, that right there.
Forever.
That's your grandfather. That's your great grand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, I do.
You are not guaranteed to be remembered. I'm guaranteed to be remembered and associated with this game. And there's nothing like it. I understand the gold jacket and the ring and the bus, but I am going to, even when I'm not here, live and exist in a place forever.
That legacy.